Have you ever wondered why you say things you regret the moment they leave your mouth? Why you lash out, shut down, or make a choice that you know deep down you didn't want to make? It's not because you're weak. It's because your mind is running faster than your awareness. Every second, your brain is scanning for threats, ready to react before you even think. Most people live their entire lives trapped inside this cycle, triggered, reacting, regretting, and then repeating the same pattern tomorrow. But you are not most people. The fact that you're here means you want to rise above this. You want to stop letting emotions and impulses hijack your life, and you can. Right now, you are sitting on the single greatest power you have, the ability to choose your response. This power can rebuild broken relationships, turn anger into understanding, and transform chaos into clarity. It can save you from saying words you can't take back. It can guide you toward decisions you once spent years regretting, but this power is not automatic. If you do nothing, your mind will keep reacting and life will keep controlling you. The good news, you can train your mind to respond, not react. And once you do, everything changes. Imagine what it would feel like to stay calm when someone insults you, to think clearly when everything around you feels like it's falling apart, to walk away from a situation knowing you handled it with strength instead of regret. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing you are in control of yourself no matter what life throws at you. That is not just possible. It is waiting for you on the other side of learning to pause, breathe, and choose your next move. This is more than a mental trick. It's a shift in how you live your entire life, because every time you respond with intention instead of reacting on impulse, you are rewriting who you are. You are telling your mind, I am in charge. You are building a version of yourself that people respect, trust, and look up to. And more importantly, you are building a life that feels peaceful, powerful, and free. You don't have to stay stuck in the old patterns. You don't have to keep feeling like a prisoner of your temper, your fears, or your impulses. There is a way out, and it starts with a single choice, the choice to slow down, to see clearly, and to take control of what happens next. If you stay with this message, you'll learn how to do it step by step, how to rewire your mind so that calm becomes your default, and how to become the kind of person who cannot be easily shaken. Your reactions have been writing your story until now, but today, you take back the pen. Today, you start building the kind of life you've always wanted, a life where you are steady, focused, and powerful. Stay with me, because what comes next is the key to unlocking that life. Your reactions are not random. They are patterns deeply wired into your brain by years of experience, pain, and survival. When something triggers you, your mind doesn't stop to ask what's best. It pulls from memory and acts fast, trying to protect you. This is why you snap without thinking, shut down when you need to speak up, or make impulsive choices that cost you peace. Your brain is designed to keep you alive, not to make you wise. But survival mode is not where you thrive. Survival mode keeps you small, anxious, and always on edge. To grow, you must teach your brain that not every situation is a threat. You must reclaim your ability to think before you act. When you feel that rush of heat, that quickening in your chest, that urge to say something sharp or make a move you'll regret, that's your primitive brain taking over. The amygdala is sounding the alarm, flooding your body with stress hormones. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and suddenly you're not thinking clearly anymore. This is why you say, I don't know what came over me. Something did come over you, your biology. And here's the truth that will change everything. You are not your first thought, and you are not your first feeling. They are automatic signals, not commands. You have the ability to interrupt them and choose differently. The moment you understand this, you stop being a prisoner to your emotions. You stop letting your chemistry control your destiny. You start to notice that space, that brief pause between what happens and what you do next. That space is where your freedom lives. That space is where your power is built. Most people let life slam that door shut before they even see it's there. But you can train yourself to find it, hold it open, and step through it every single time. Think about how much pain you could avoid if you claimed that space. How many arguments would turn into conversations? How many regrets would turn into lessons? How many mistakes would turn into breakthroughs? This is not about becoming emotionless. This is about letting emotions inform you, not control you. It's about allowing the anger, the fear, the hurt to pass through you without letting them dictate your next move. Every time you take that pause, even for a few seconds, you are rewiring your brain. You are building stronger connections in the part of your mind that gives you clarity and control. Over time, you will feel the difference. The same triggers that used to set you off will lose their grip. The situations that used to make you spiral will no longer have the same power. This is what mastery feels like. Calm in the middle of chaos, focus in the middle of noise. Your mind is capable of this shift. Your brain can be trained. And every pause, every conscious response is one more step toward becoming unshakable. The choice is always yours, and the moment to take back control is always now. Every reaction you fail to control is a moment you give away your power. It is a piece of your peace, a fragment of your confidence, a drop of your focus that slips out of your hands. And the truth is, the world is full of triggers. People will say things that offend you. Circumstances will test your patience. Life will throw curveballs that demand your energy. You cannot control what happens, but you can always control what happens next inside of you. That control is not something you stumble upon. It is something you train for, like building strength in a gym. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, until one day you notice that what used to shake you now barely moves you. Think of each moment of frustration, each wave of irritation, each burst of fear as a workout for your mind. When you choose not to explode, not to retreat, not to surrender to the first emotion that rises, you are adding weight to your mental strength. You are teaching yourself endurance. You are proving that you are stronger than the situation. And this is not about perfection. You will slip, you will react, you will catch yourself mid-sentence or mid-action and wish you had paused sooner. But every single attempt counts. Every time you try, your brain learns. The next time the pause will come faster. The next time the space between impulse and choice will feel wider. This is how resilience is built, not in grand moments of victory, but in small, quiet acts of control repeated over and over again. This is the work that no one sees but everyone feels. People around you will notice the difference. They will notice that you no longer get dragged into drama, that your presence feels calmer, that your energy feels stable, even when everything around you is chaotic. They will trust you more, respect you more, and they will want to follow your lead because you are proof that composure is possible. And most importantly, you will notice the difference within yourself. You will start to feel proud of the way you handle things. You will stop replaying moments in your head, wishing you had done them differently. You will start sleeping better at night because you know you acted with integrity and wisdom, not just raw emotion. The noise inside your mind will quiet down because you will know you are in control. This kind of mastery is addictive. Once you taste it, once you feel what it's like to own your response, you will never want to go back to being ruled by impulse. And that is why the work is worth it. That is why you must keep showing up for yourself, even on the days when it feels hard, even when the old patterns try to pull you back. Each pause is a victory. Each moment of calm is a sign that you are becoming the version of yourself you were meant to be. Focused, steady, powerful, and free. The gap between reaction and response is where you find your true self. It is where the noise stops and clarity begins. In that moment, you are no longer at the mercy of old habits or past pain. You are no longer simply a product of what has happened to you. You are the creator of what happens next. This is the most powerful position a human being can stand in because it means nothing outside of you can fully control you. Not anger, not fear, not pressure, not chaos. You hold the pen, and with every response, you are writing the story of who you are becoming. This is why emotional distance matters. It is not about pushing feelings away or pretending they don't exist. It is about giving yourself permission to feel without being consumed. When you allow emotions to rise and pass without instantly acting on them, you take back ownership of your mind. You begin to see your anger as information, not an order. You recognize fear as a warning, not a command. You realize that sadness, disappointment, frustration, they are all signals pointing you to what matters most, not forces meant to drag you under. That shift is where strength is born. Strength is not about being hard or cold. It is about staying soft enough to feel but strong enough to choose. It is the quiet power of refusing to let your worst emotions decide your future. This is what makes people unstoppable. Not because life stops challenging them, but because they stop being controlled by every challenge. If you can learn to sit with discomfort, even for a few seconds longer than before, you are already growing. Those seconds are the training ground where self-mastery is forged. Each time you breathe through a trigger instead of exploding, You are carving a new path in your brain. Each time you choose silence over shouting, patience over panic, wisdom over impulse, you are proving to yourself that you are no longer a prisoner of your past reactions. And what waits for you on the other side of this practice is profound peace. Not a fragile peace that breaks under pressure, but a steady, unshakable peace that no one can take from you. You will start to notice how much energy you save when you are no longer at war with yourself. You will feel lighter because you are no longer carrying the weight of constant regret. You will begin to trust yourself on a deeper level because you will know that no matter what happens, you will handle it with strength and clarity. This is not just about getting through difficult moments. It is about becoming someone who is no longer defined by them. Your response becomes a reflection of your growth, your wisdom, and your highest values. Every pause is a declaration that you are bigger than your triggers, stronger than your fears, and fully capable of creating the life you deserve. Awareness is the starting point of every transformation. You cannot change what you refuse to notice. Most people go through their days on autopilot, reacting to the world without ever asking why they feel the way they do. They let every word, every tone, every unexpected situation pull them into an emotional storm. But the moment you start paying attention, you begin to break the spell. You start to see the patterns, the words that make your chest tighten, the situations that make your pulse race, the thoughts that spiral you into anger or fear. This awareness is not judgment. It is not about shaming yourself for what you feel. It is about shining a light on the triggers so they lose their power over you. When you recognize what sets you off, you gain a choice you never had before. You can prepare. You can pause before the storm takes over. You can meet your own emotions with curiosity instead of resistance. Naming what you feel is one of the most powerful tools you have. When you say, I feel angry or I feel anxious, you separate yourself from the emotion. You remind your mind that you are not the feeling, you are the one experiencing it. That moment of naming gives you breathing room. It activates the rational part of your brain and slows down the rush of impulse. This practice builds self-trust. Each time you notice a trigger before it controls you, you prove to yourself that you are growing stronger. And with every moment of self-awareness, you create more opportunities to choose a response that reflects your values instead of your habits. The difference this makes in your life is immeasurable. Conversations become calmer. Decisions become wiser. Your mind becomes clearer because it is no longer a battlefield of constant unexamined reactions. There is power in stepping back and observing your own inner world. It takes courage to face your emotions instead of burying them. It takes strength to be honest about what hurts you, frustrates you, or scares you, but that honesty is what will set you free. Once you can see the pattern, you can change it. Once you know the trigger, you can prepare for it. Once you catch the reaction before it takes over, you can stop it in its tracks. This level of awareness turns life into a training ground. Every challenge becomes a chance to notice, to breathe, to choose. Even moments that used to leave you feeling powerless start to feel like opportunities to practice self-mastery. And with each small victory, your confidence grows. You start to believe in your ability to handle anything. You stop being dragged by the current and start steering the direction of your own life. The more you practice this, the less reactive you become. The less reactive you become, the more grounded and intentional your life feels. This is how you create stability inside yourself no matter what chaos is happening outside of you. This is how you rise above the noise and step fully into the strength that has always been waiting within you. Perspective is the tool that transforms emotional storms into moments of clarity. When you learn to step back and see the bigger picture, the grip of your emotions begins to loosen. The same situation that once felt unbearable suddenly looks different when you ask yourself better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? What else could this mean? These questions pull you out of the narrow tunnel of reactivity and open your mind to new possibilities. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not perfect interpreters of reality. Anger may tell you that someone is against you when they may just be struggling themselves. Fear may tell you to run when what you really need is to stand firm and grow. Sadness may tell you that all is lost when the truth is you are standing at the beginning of something new. By stepping back, you create space between the event and the story your mind is telling about it. And in that space, you regain control over how you choose to see the world. Perspective is not about ignoring pain or pretending that everything is fine. It is about refusing to let pain blind you to the lessons hidden inside it. It is about choosing to rise above the first emotional wave and search for meaning in what you are going through. The human mind is wired to focus on threats, on what is wrong, on what could go badly, but you can train it to see differently. You can train it to look for growth, for strength, for opportunity, even in the hardest moments. When you practice this regularly, you will notice your emotional reactions losing their intensity. What used to feel like a crisis becomes a challenge. What used to throw you off for days now barely shakes you. You begin to realize that most situations are not as big as they feel in the heat of the moment. This is not because the world has changed. It is because you have changed. You have rewired your mind to stay calm long enough to see clearly. This is the foundation of wisdom. It is what allows you to act with intention instead of impulse. It is what allows you to hold your ground when others are losing theirs. People who master perspective radiate a quiet strength that others can feel. They make better decisions, not because life is easier for them, but because they have learned how to rise above the emotional fog and act from a place of clarity. Every time you choose perspective over reaction, you are building a mind that serves you instead of sabotages you. You are shaping a future where your emotions guide you but do not control you. You are proving to yourself that you are capable of handling anything with courage and composure. This is where real power begins, not in controlling the world, but in controlling how you see it and how you respond to it. A calm mind is not something you stumble upon by chance. It is something you build every single day. Emotional control becomes easier when your mental foundation is strong. Stress, lack of sleep, poor habits, and constant distraction weaken that foundation and leave you more vulnerable to reacting on impulse. When your body is exhausted, when your mind is overwhelmed, when your spirit is neglected, every small trigger feels bigger. Every minor problem feels urgent. Every comment feels personal. This is why training your mind to respond requires taking care of the system that holds it. A well-rested mind sees more clearly. A body that moves regularly can release tension before it builds up into anger. A daily practice of stillness, even a few minutes of breathing, reflection, or gratitude, can reset your nervous system and make space for calm to grow. These are not luxuries. They are the groundwork of mental strength. They prepare you for the moments when life tests you. They give you the inner reserves to pause, think, and act with intention instead of being pulled by emotion. Mental resilience is not built in a single moment of crisis. It is built in the quiet choices you make every day. Choosing to eat foods that fuel your energy instead of deplete it. Choosing to move your body when you'd rather stay still. Choosing to put down the phone, quiet the noise, and give your mind room to breathe. These decisions may seem small, but they are teaching your brain discipline. They are strengthening the part of you that chooses long-term peace over short-term comfort. This work compounds. Each healthy choice, each moment of stillness, each habit of reflection builds on the last until your default state becomes calmer, clearer, and harder to shake. You will still face challenges, but you will face them with a mind that is ready, not drained. You will still feel anger and fear, but they will not control you because you will have built the strength to hold them without being consumed. Taking care of your mind and body is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot respond with wisdom if you are constantly running on empty. You cannot be present, calm, and grounded for others if you are at war within yourself. When you prioritize your own stability, you give yourself the power to show up for life in a way that is steady and unshakable. The more you invest in your mental resilience, the less the world can throw you off course. You become a person who bends but does not break, who feels but does not drown, who is challenged but not defeated. And that is the point. To create a mind that cannot be easily hijacked, to build a strength that carries you through the storms of life with grace, to become someone who is grounded no matter how loud the world gets. Mastery is built in the smallest moments, not just the big ones. The way you respond to a stranger cutting you off in traffic is just as important as the way you respond to a major conflict in your life. Every moment is training. Each time you choose patience over irritation, calm over chaos, intention over impulse, you are strengthening the neural pathways that make self-control easier next time. These little victories add up. They reprogram your mind to pause naturally, to think first, to hold steady under pressure. Most people wait for the big situations to prove their strength, but strength is created in the quiet, ordinary moments. The inconvenience that tempts you to snap, the delay that pushes your patience, the rude comment that invites you to react. These are not just annoyances. They are opportunities. They are practice sessions that prepare you for the moments that truly matter. If you can master yourself when the stakes are small, you will have the power to hold your ground when the stakes are high. Training your mind this way requires awareness and intention. It means catching yourself in real time and asking, what would my strongest self do right now? This simple question shifts your focus from emotion to action, from reaction to response. It forces you to see that every moment gives you a choice, to fall into the old pattern or to step into the new one. And every time you choose a new one, you reinforce the identity of someone who is in control. Do not underestimate the impact of these small wins. Each one rewires your brain, builds your confidence, and makes the next challenge feel easier. Over time, you will notice that you no longer get pulled into every argument, that you no longer waste energy on things that don't matter, that you no longer feel the need to defend yourself against every opinion or judgment. Your power will no longer be scattered. It will be focused. And with that focus comes a deep sense of freedom, freedom from the need to prove yourself, freedom from the need to win every battle, freedom from the chains of impulsive emotion. You will still feel anger, frustration, disappointment, but they will no longer own you. You will be the one deciding what happens next. The most powerful people in the world are not those who never feel triggered. They are those who can stand in the middle of the trigger and choose who they will be. That is what you are building every time you respond with intention. That is what you are becoming. Someone who is no longer tossed around by every situation. Someone who stands solid and unshaken. Someone who can turn any moment into a chance to grow stronger. There is a power that comes from becoming unshakable. A power that cannot be faked and cannot be taken from you. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that no matter what happens, you will meet it with strength and clarity. This is not about being emotionless. It is about being anchored. It is about standing firm even when life tries to pull you off balance. The world will not get easier. People will still test your patience. Challenges will still arise, and unexpected moments will still come. But when you train yourself to respond instead of react, those moments stop feeling like threats and start feeling like invitations to rise higher. This strength changes how you move through life. You stop rushing because you no longer feel the panic of needing to control everything at once. You stop over-explaining yourself because you trust the power of your calm presence. You stop letting other people's chaos decide how you feel inside. This kind of power is magnetic. People feel it when you walk into a room. They notice that your energy is steady, that you are not easily provoked, that you bring clarity instead of confusion. The greatest transformation is the one that happens within. When you become unshakable, you stop living as a victim of circumstance. You begin to see yourself as the one steering the ship. Even when storms hit, you do not lose sight of where you are going. Even when others try to provoke you, you hold your ground and choose the outcome you want. This is where true freedom begins. Not when life stops testing you, but when those tests no longer control who you are. Building this inner strength is not about never feeling pain. It is about refusing to let pain dictate the story. It is about taking the energy of anger, fear, and disappointment and turning it into action that moves you forward. When you do this, you transform what was meant to break you into fuel that builds you. And with each choice to stay grounded, you grow more certain of yourself. You grow more aware of your own power. You start to feel an inner stillness that nothing outside of you can shake. That stillness becomes your foundation. It becomes the place you return to when everything else feels uncertain. From that place, you can speak with clarity, act with confidence, and live with purpose. This is the level you are capable of reaching. This is who you can become. Someone who does not need to react to prove their strength because their strength is already proven in their presence. Someone who does not need to fight for control because control is something they carry within. Someone who can face chaos, conflict, and challenge with the same calm, focused energy every single time. The power to respond is a choice you must make every single day. It is not a one-time decision, but a commitment to yourself, a promise that no matter what life throws at you, you will not hand over control of your mind. Each morning you wake up, you are given another chance to decide who you will be. You can live on autopilot, letting circumstances push and pull you, or you can wake up with intention and claim the day as yours. This is where transformation becomes permanent, when you make response a daily practice instead of an occasional effort. Every situation becomes an opportunity to live in alignment with the strongest version of yourself. The moment you feel that rush of irritation, that spike of fear, that wave of frustration, you can pause and breathe. That single pause is not small. It is a declaration that you are in charge. It is a moment where you are saying, I will not be ruled by this feeling. I will decide what happens next. This choice is how character is built. This choice is how peace is created. This choice is how you become someone who lives life with intention instead of regret. Some days will test you more than others. Some days the pause will feel impossible, but those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when you are truly training your mind. If you can pause when every part of you wants to react, you are rewiring yourself on the deepest level. You are teaching your nervous system that you are safe, that you are steady, that you do not need to be controlled by impulse. Over time, this rewiring makes you stronger, calmer, and harder to shake. Your life will begin to look different because your decisions will come from clarity instead of chaos. You will speak words you can stand by. You will take actions that move you forward instead of holding you back. You will look back on moments that once would have broken you and feel pride instead of shame. This pride will fuel you to keep going, to keep choosing your response, to keep shaping yourself into someone who is not easily moved by fear, anger, or doubt. Every response you choose with intention is a building block for the life you are creating. Piece by piece, you are building a mind that serves you, a heart that stays steady, and a spirit that refuses to be shaken. And the more you build, the more unstoppable you become. Nothing outside of you will have the power it once had because you will have claimed the one thing that cannot be taken, the power over yourself. This is where freedom lives. This is where strength lives. And this is the choice you get to make every day, to rise above, to choose clarity over chaos, to respond with intention, and to create a life that reflects the person you are truly meant to be. Every time you choose to respond instead of react, you take back energy that used to be wasted. Think about how much of your life has been drained by arguments that went nowhere, by words you wish you could take back, by regrets that still echo in your mind. That cycle stops the moment you start responding with intention. You stop giving away your peace. You stop giving power to things that do not deserve to control you. Instead, you begin investing that energy into growth, into clarity, into building the life you want. Responding is not weakness. It is strength in its highest form. It takes power to stay calm when you are provoked. It takes courage to stay grounded when your emotions are screaming at you to explode. It takes discipline to pause when every instinct says to strike back. And when you master that discipline, you become unstoppable. The world cannot pull you into its chaos when you refuse to play by its rules. You move differently. You think differently. You carry yourself with a quiet confidence that others can feel. Your presence begins to change. People notice the difference even if they cannot explain it. They feel safer around you because you are no longer volatile. You are no longer unpredictable. Your energy becomes one of stability, of strength, of quiet power. And that energy draws better people and better opportunities into your life because you are operating on a higher level. You are no longer just reacting to what life hands you. You are choosing, shaping, creating. This choice becomes a new identity. You are no longer someone who loses control. You are no longer someone who regrets every argument. You are no longer someone who is easily manipulated by pressure, fear, or anger. You become someone who can be trusted not just by others, but by yourself. You can trust yourself to stay calm, to stay clear, to stay aligned with the life you want to live. That trust is priceless because it gives you confidence in every situation. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. At first, it will take effort. You will have to catch yourself. You will have to breathe through the moment, but soon you will notice that it no longer takes as much strength as it once did. You will respond calmly without even thinking about it. This is the reward of training your mind. It becomes who you are. It becomes automatic. And when this becomes automatic, your entire world begins to transform. Conflict becomes easier to handle. Stress feels lighter. Fear no longer keeps you paralyzed. You are able to think clearly even under pressure. This clarity becomes your greatest weapon because it allows you to make decisions that move you forward, no matter what is happening around you. It gives you the ability to stay steady when others are falling apart. And that is when you realize you are no longer just surviving. You are leading your life with purpose and power. When you train yourself to respond, you are no longer living as a prisoner to your first impulse. You are living with awareness, and that awareness is what separates the life you have from the life you truly want. Every reaction that once kept you stuck becomes a doorway to growth. Every moment that once pulled you into regret becomes an invitation to rise. This is how real transformation works, not through grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs, but through consistent, deliberate choices made in moments that seem small but carry incredible power. Your mind begins to quiet when it knows it does not have to fight every battle. Not every opinion deserves your defense. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every challenge requires a war. When you choose to respond, you conserve your strength for what truly matters. You stop scattering your energy in every direction and start channeling it into building something that lasts. You begin to feel lighter because you are no longer carrying every offense, every irritation, every slight. You are free because you have decided not to let the world pull you into its noise. This freedom gives you room to focus on what actually moves you forward. Instead of replaying old arguments in your mind, you are thinking about solutions. Instead of being consumed by anger, you are finding opportunities hidden inside the problem. Instead of letting fear dictate your decisions, you are making choices from a place of power. This shift is everything. It turns your mind into your ally instead of your enemy. And the beauty of this process is that it compounds over time. The more you practice, the more resilient you become. Stress that once overwhelmed you now feels manageable. Situations that used to control you now feel like chances to prove how far you have come. The confidence this gives you is life-changing because it shows you that you are capable of far more than you once believed. You are not fragile. You are not helpless. You are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes forever. This is how you start to trust life again. You stop fearing the unexpected because you know you can handle whatever comes. You stop fearing other people's words because you know they cannot control your response. You stop fearing failure because you know you will respond in a way that moves you forward, no matter the outcome. This is real strength, the ability to stay steady, no matter how loud the storm becomes. Every time you choose to respond, you are writing a new story for yourself. You are teaching your mind that you are no longer ruled by chaos. You are becoming someone who acts with clarity, who speaks with intention, who lives with purpose. And that person is powerful beyond measure because they are not easily shaken, not easily manipulated, not easily broken. That person is you, and every single day you have the chance to become them more fully. The discipline of responding is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about owning them. Your emotions are not the enemy. They are signals, messengers trying to show you what matters, what hurts, what needs attention. When you react blindly, you let the emotion control you. When you respond with awareness, you take the message, honor it, and act from clarity instead of chaos. This is what makes you powerful. You are no longer at war with yourself. You are using every feeling as fuel for growth. Anger can teach you where your boundaries are. Fear can show you where courage is needed. Sadness can remind you what you value. Even frustration can reveal the standards you want to hold yourself and others to. But you cannot learn any of these lessons if you are too busy exploding, panicking, or shutting down. Responding allows you to slow the moment, see the truth beneath the feeling, and choose an action that actually moves your life forward. This is how pain becomes progress. Most people let emotions control their behavior and then wonder why life feels chaotic. You are breaking that cycle. You are stepping into a level of emotional mastery that most never reach. This mastery is not cold or detached. It is focused, intentional, and alive. It allows you to feel deeply without being consumed. It allows you to stay grounded while everything around you is shaking. This is the strength that turns ordinary people into leaders, creators, visionaries. When you respond instead of react, you are showing yourself respect. You are proving to yourself that your peace is worth protecting, that your energy is worth guarding, that your future is worth choosing carefully. This act of self-respect builds confidence in a way nothing else can. You stop questioning whether you are capable because you see the proof. Every time you handle a moment with grace that would have once set you off. And with every proof, your identity shifts. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who is easily triggered. You stop believing you are ruled by impulse. You start seeing yourself as someone who is steady, thoughtful, and in control of their destiny. This shift changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you handle conflict. You begin to radiate certainty, and that certainty transforms the way the world responds to you. People will try to pull you back into the old patterns, but you will feel the difference inside yourself. You will feel the pause before the old reaction comes. You will feel the space where choice lives. And every time you choose to stay calm, to stay clear, to stay true to who you are becoming, you strengthen that space. You make it bigger, stronger, harder to shake, until one day it becomes unshakable. Until one day your response is no longer something you fight for. It is simply who you are. The moment you realize you have the power to choose your response, you stop feeling like a victim of life